Welcome back to this week's Messiah Minutes. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I ask that you like this, that you share it. And again, I just thank you for the encouragement, from the text messages to you just stopping me and telling me how much you appreciate it. God is just flowing through this. I know this stuff speaks to me, so I know it's going to speak to you. So I just appreciate you guys, but I appreciate the Holy Spirit moving through things like this. A couple announcements before we get started here. We do have tonight, we have women's and men's Bible studies here at the church that start at 6 o'clock. So if you want to be involved with that, we ask that you show up. We also have Life Recovery that's meeting here tonight at 6:30. Come out to that. There's lots of people that are struggling, lots of people that need help, and we're all fighting different battles. So I encourage you to jump into one of those things. We also have our adult midweek service. That's tomorrow night at 6:30. And we have youth tomorrow night at 6. We've been talking about, in youth, we've been talking about this series on taboo things that you don't normally talk about in church. So yeah, we covered the basic stuff, but we're also talking about greed, envy, lies, revenge, that kind of stuff. So that starts again tomorrow at 6. I ask that you come out. I ask that you sign up to volunteer. You can come hang out with us. The youth need more people invested in their lives, but I also need people to sign up to bring meals. And I just thank you so much, those that have. It is greatly appreciated. Also, sorry about that. This Sunday, Pastor Claude is back with us. So we invite you to come to our worship Sunday, come to Sunday school beforehand, and just get involved Sunday mornings. The pickleball tournament that was scheduled for Sunday, we didn't have the turnout we were hoping for attendance for that. So we're going to postpone that, maybe do it at a later date. But we just wanted to get that out there so you guys, those of you that did sign up, don't show up and no one be here. So this Sunday, that's postponed for a later date, and we'll get with you on that. And then the next big thing we have coming up, and we are going to try and do it big, is October 29th. We're doing our trunk or treat here at the church. That's from 5 to 7. That's the day before the town's trick or treat. So we ask that you come out, be involved, love on the community that way. There are a few ways you can do that. We have some sign-up sheets here at the welcome desk. We want you to sign up for trunks. If you can participate in that, we ask that you bring a trunk. If it's a problem with candy, we'll take care of that. But we want you to sign up to bring a trunk just to be the hands and feet and be here meeting the community that night. We also have a sign-up sheet for volunteers. We're going to have lots of things going on that night, and we need lots of people. So if you can be involved, that would be great. Please sign up for that. There's also an opportunity for you to donate. You can donate candy to the church. We ask that you just start bringing it in. I know we already got some bags of candy this week. I just ask that you continue to do that, because there are some people that would love to serve but maybe can't afford to buy the candy. If we have it here, that's just less of a chance that we don't have participants. So we want as much candy as we can. We're going to give it all away. I promise I won't eat it. We're going to give it all away. So I just ask that you can participate in one way. We have so many things going on at this church, and we need people. We want you involved. We want to see you here. So if you can come to any of these things that's going on or participate, we encourage that. Let's get started. I know last week we started kind of our interview with our interim with Pastor Claude, and next week we're going to continue that. We want to give you an opportunity as a church to get to know him better. Again, I'm excited for him. More importantly, I'm excited for how God is going to use him at our church through this transition. So I pray that you support him. I pray that you guys lift him up and his family up in your prayers. The week before that, though, we were talking about how your input will come out in your life. So one way or another, what goes in will always come out. What you are exposed to will shape your thoughts, and your thoughts will shape your life. We also talked about the ear gate and how important it is to guard our hearts by paying attention to what we're listening to. How the words listen and hear appear more than 30 times in the book of Proverbs. So Solomon is always instructing us, constantly instructing us to pay attention and be very careful to what we listen to. Guarding the ear gate means we have to be selective about the information that gets in, whether that's through media, conversations we consume. We have to protect our hearts from negative and ungodly influences. So last time we talked about that, we read Proverbs 4:20 through 22. So I want to pick up directly after that, right where we left off. The next verses that Solomon writes in Proverbs 4:23 through 25 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Avoid all perverse talk, stay away from corrupt speech, and look straight ahead. Fix your eyes on what lies before you." So right after telling us to guard our hearts, we see Solomon instruct us in Proverbs 4:25 to look with your eyes straight ahead and fix your gaze directly before you. So the word eye or eyes is mentioned in the book of Proverbs about 30 times as well. The words look and see are in there almost 20 times. So I think, why so much? Why is Solomon putting that in there so much? I think Solomon knew that whatever we see, it's just going directly into our minds. There's no way for us to keep that from happening. It's how God has designed you and I to work. What we see goes straight in. So if you do some quick research, you will find that the average American spends 7 hours a day staring at a screen. Again, just like what we listen to, we tend to be naive as Christians and tell ourselves that we can watch whatever. And we just say, well, it's just me looking at something. It's no big deal. It doesn't really matter. Well, modern research and more importantly, the Bible says differently. They both tell us that when we open that gate, what flows into our hearts will flow out in our lives. The trash will always make its way downstream. So what we watch matters. What we let into that gate matters. Recent research has actually shown that excessive screen usage has terrible effects on our social and emotional growth, including a rise in mental health conditions like depression and anxiety that we're battling, obesity, sleep disorders. It also can fuel aggressive behaviors. It can mess with our abilities to understand others' emotions and our own emotions, and just in general, it can harm our psychological health. So what we watch shapes our thoughts, and our thoughts shape our lives. Solomon writes in Proverbs 20:12, "Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both." God made them both. And he made them both for a reason. He made them for himself. He gave us ears and eyes to help us to get to know him better and to worship him so that we might also use those to serve others. One reason we tend not to guard these gates very closely is because there's this type of delayed reaction to these things, meaning that what we put in doesn't immediately come out. It's a gradual thing that changes over time. Seeds get planted, and slowly over time and repeated exposure to things, we grow. It grows into our thoughts and in our minds, and we put it back out. I want you to think of the song by Casting Crowns. It's called Slow Fade. It starts out by saying, "Be careful, little eyes, what you see." I want you to take a listen to that if you have time today. Listen to that and think about some of this teaching we've been talking about. It goes on to sing about being careful what you hear, being careful what you say, being careful where you go. It's a great song, period, but it speaks a lot about what we've been referencing here. But here's the deal. If you make a decision that every night before bed, you're going to eat a pint of ice cream, it's going to take a while, but that choice is going to be reflected over time. Maybe when you go to the doctor and the doctor sees that you've put on 20 pounds, the doctor's going to ask you what's been going on. You can't just give the excuse, you know what, last night I was hungry, I hit up the buffet. That's not true. You made a choice a few months ago that before bed, you were going to have a pint of ice cream. It happens gradually. Just like almost everything in life, eating ice cream, investing financially, doing drugs. It all has a snowballing effect and this cumulative effect on us and on our lives. The same thing applies to what you see and what you hear. Listen to one angry song. It's not necessarily going to change your life. But if you continue to listen to angry music over and over again, eventually you're going to wonder how you became so angry. Remember what Solomon says, "Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both." Remember why you have them. Start using them correctly to worship him and to serve others. I encourage you all to continue your journaling. If you haven't started that, start it. Remember that we have to do that. We have to start holding our thoughts captive by first controlling what we're letting into our lives. So again, I thank you for tuning in. Come back next week. We're going to continue our interview with our interim, Pastor Claude, and I just appreciate you all. Love you all. Hope to see you this week.